Do you drive with your propane tanks on in your RV? If you do, you're going to want to watch this. Hey, welcome back to Mountain Beaches. I'm Norm.
And I'm Kim. And we're living our dream to discover new adventures.
We are, because as you know, tomorrow is never promised. So today we wanted to just do a little quick informational video about propane. It's kind of a controversial topic. Do I pull my trailer or drive my RV with the propane on or off? There's people on both sides of the camp. And we used to be in the camp that we always drove with our propane on.
Right. So why would we drive with our propane on? Why would we choose to do that? Because Norm's kind of in charge of this. So why would we choose that?
Well, for one thing, we got to run the propane refrigerator, and we just always did. I figured, you know, it's a propane refrigerator. It's designed to run that way. We need to keep our food cold while we're driving to the campground. Mm-hmm. So we have the propane on. I just never, ever thought of the downsides, and there are downsides to doing that.
So what are some of the downsides then?
The biggest downside is that your propane tank does not have an automatic shutoff. So if for some reason you were to get in an accident and that propane line gets severed, those propane lines are very exposed underneath your RV. You get in a wreck, that propane line breaks open, it's just an invitation for an explosion. LP gas is so flammable, it can cause, a fire instantly, and more than just a fire, an explosion. So I never thought of that before. And propane is one of the leading causes of RV fires. Okay,
so say you're not set up like we are, and you want to keep the things in your refrigerator cold for, you're going to travel for 8 hours that day.
So another option is to, if you have an inverter, which we never did prior to installing solar on our RV, is to turn the inverter on and just run and turn your refrigerator on to electric. And then you're just drawing from the batteries and you're just running in electric mode. Much, much safer. But you still have to turn those propane lines off, or you have the same issue. So what we do now is it's on our checklist. We turn our refrigerator to electric mode, and then I go and I turn both of the propane tanks off before we travel, and it's purely a safety issue.
And I always ask him that. And I probably don't ask him in the, right terminology, but I'm like, so do you have the refrigerator where you want it to be? Do you have the inverter where you want it to be? What else do I ask? Oh, do you have the propane where you want it to be?
Right.
So, yeah, I always ask him those questions because I carry on my phone our checklist. So I
don't always remember.
No,
but that's why we have a checklist.
You don't always remember.
And Kim's job is to go through the checklist and remind me.
Yep.
So what do you do if you just have a propane refrigerator and you don't have an inverter like we do? How do you handle that situation? That's what we're going to talk about right now. There's a product called GasStop. It's this little device right here, this little gauge on the top. It costs about $80. And this will 100% shut off your gas line should it detect a leak. And it can detect the pressure, and a sudden change in pressure is what a leak will be. And this thing will shut off your gas 100% guaranteed and prevent that explosion and fire. We have, even though I turn my propane off, I still have one of these on each propane tank because who knows what's going to happen when we're at our campsite. There could be an issue where we have a fire or something. We need those propane tanks automatically to shut off, and this device right here is going to do that for you. And I would highly recommend anybody and everybody install one of these.
Ah, awesome. So
two of these. If you have two propane tanks, you're going to want two of these.
It's $80 for this tiny little device. Seems kind of pricey, but when you're talking about your life and stopping fires and that. So where do we get these?
Well, you can get these a lot of different places. One place is from Techno RV, and we love Techno RV. Eric and Tammy are fantastic. They are RVers themselves, and they know what it is, what you need for products, and they only sell the best products. And I don't want this to sound like a commercial. We do have an affiliate link with Techno RV, so if you buy through our affiliate link, we'll get a small commission. It doesn't cost you anything extra. But the bottom line is you just need one of these wherever you buy it.
Yeah.
You know, buy it from through our link below. We'll put a link in the description below. Buy it somewhere else. You
just get one.
Or two if you have 2 propane tanks, because this could save your life. And for $80, I kind of feel like my life is worth
80 bucks.
And,
hey, how's
and
my
Kim's
life?
is worth 160.
Maybe 40.
So that's why I bought 2. So this is an awesome thing, but it also, if you don't have options for running your propane, you can feel a little bit more, or for running your refrigerator while you're traveling, you can at least feel a little bit safer knowing that you have a gas stop that's going to shut it off in an emergency. There's still the controversy. Some people will comment in and say 100% of the time, never should you have your propane on while you're driving. Some people will say, yeah, I've done it for years, and we did it for years and never had a problem, but you never have a problem until you have a problem.
True.
And then you have a problem.
A big problem.
Yeah. So we did it for years and years and years, but mainly just out of ignorance. We didn't know any better.
Well, we didn't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
I mean, it's not that we're calling ourselves stupid. You just don't know what you don't know. So we're hoping that by, putting this video out and telling you about this, especially RV newbies, you probably don't know about this.
The other beautiful thing about this thing is it takes probably less than 5 minutes to install. It just, one end screws onto your propane tank, and I'm going to show you this in just a minute. So it just screws onto your propane tank just like the hose does. So first you take the hose off, screw this on instead, and then you hook your hose onto this. So let's go show you what it takes to install this. It's so easy. Now today's a perfect day to talk about this topic because today's a travel day for us. So we're going to be doing these things, changing our refrigerator over to electric. And so look right in here. We have your typical propane tank, the hose coming up and connecting directly to the tank itself. We're going to just take that hose off, unscrew it. Okay, first of all, you got to make sure that you got your propane tank turned off, which ours was. Next, I'm going to take my gas stop and I'm going to screw it onto the tank. And I like to do it so that the gauge is pointing towards me so I can see it. Snug that on there. You don't have to, it's just hand tight. And I'm going to take my hose and put that on the other end. Screw that down, hand tight again. Now this propane tank is empty, so even if I open it up and push on the gauge here, it's still going to read in the red. So let's go over to the other tank that is full, and I'll show you that. Shortcut. Okay, this tank is full, and you can see in here the gauge is in the green. It's almost on the edge of high, but that's because it's completely full. That's it. That's all there is. It's so easy to install. That's the best life-saving device you could ever put on your RV. I'd highly recommend you getting one or two. They make different styles. This style I showed you goes for these type of tanks. If you have a motorhome, they make a style that works with yours. It's a little bit different. Same principle, just as easy to install. And on Techno RV, you'll see it'll ask you the questions. Do you have a motorhome? Do you have a trailer? And it'll get you the right one. So let's go turn our RV refrigerator into electric because we're traveling today. Let's get it ready to go. Okay, changing my RV refrigerator from propane to electric is as simple as pushing the mode button, and then you'll see right here it's on LP, and that we're on AC. Easy as can be. There's 3 settings on this refrigerator. One is LP, one is AC, which is electric, and one is automatic, and it'll detect whether it should run on the propane or electric. I like to switch mine to the AC mode, so I'm 100% guaranteed that it's going to be on electric and not propane. Then I'm going to turn my propane tanks off. So that's how we travel. That's how we would recommend you travel if you have an inverter. If you don't have an inverter, then at least have the GasStop to protect yourself. And even if you have the inverter, get the GasStop. They can save your life. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We'd love to have you join our Mountain Beaches team, family, we call you, and we'll see you in the next video.